Welcome back to Joe Stonner Boxing. So Gamal Yafai, it would seem his career is over, at least at world level. He loses very widely to Diego Alberto Ruiz. Suffers 3 knockdowns in the second round, the last round, and I think the other one was in the 4th or 5th maybe. I think it was the 2nd, 3rd and 10th if memory serves. But the punch resistance on Gamal looks completely gone. Diego Alberto Ruiz, you may know him. He's an Argentinian fighter, 28 years old. This was his 5th fight in Britain and his first victory. He actually drew over 10 rounds with Lee McGregor. That was back in 2022, last year. I think he's been stopped by Conlon, Mick Conlon, and I can't remember the others offhand. But he's a regular to these shores, and he came in with 23 wins, 6 defeats. Yeah, 6 defeats. Only the 1 stoppage to Conlon and 1 draw. He only had 12 KOs and stoppages in his 24 wins, 23 wins. So basically, you're talking about a guy who wasn't renowned as a banger, but a guy who's really learnt the profession the hard way. And if you've watched this channel before, you'll know that I always go on about how defeats don't really matter as long as you learn from them. He's been match tough. 6 defeats, yes, but what has he learned from those defeats? Clearly, he's learned a lot on the road. And he completely dominated Yafai, who won the first round when Ruiz was sort of having a look at him. He just did some basic boxing and won the round. But in the second round, a cuffing right hand around the back of the sort of side of the head, around the back of the head, made Yafai stumble, touched down with his glove and was counted, quite rightly so. It was a knockdown. Yafai, in the third round, he was doing well. He was going back to his boxing and he was moving his hands. I mean, there's nothing wrong with his offence, but he was being perhaps a little bit too brave, and certainly Jamie Moore in his corner was reading him the right act throughout the whole fight and almost threw in the towel towards the end and would have been justified in doing so. But towards the end of the third round, any good work that Yafai did was undone when, again, another cuffing right hand forced him to touch down. He wasn't knocked over, he just touched the floor. His legs seem to have gone and his punch resistance seems to have gone, and that indicates, after a sort of lengthy, I think he's 31, which isn't that old, of course, but he was at the Olympics in 2008, I think it was, and former European champ. It was telling with Yafai that he's been inactive for the last last sort of 20 months maybe. Fought Sean Cairns, who had an 8-3 record and stopped him in 4, but that's his only fight since being beaten by Jason Cunningham for the EBU title, and he was on the floor 3 times in that fight as well. So the punch resistance has gone for Gamal, and it's a shame. But as I said in the commentary, no time waits for no man. And all credit to Diego Alberto Ruiz. He's resurrected his career. He's never going to be a world beater, but he's a good. He can make his way into fringe contender. Pick up a few paychecks along the way. I don't see a problem with that at all. I think he's got some guts. He'll test anyone. And only the best will beat him. And yeah, I mean, this was on the DAZN card. The Leewood Maurizio Lara undercard, and for a couple of rounds, well, certainly the second and the third round, when Ruiz floored Yafai, I was thinking, this is another, Josh Warrington, Lara, sort of an unknown guy comes in and splashes the favourite all over the canvas. With the benefit of hindsight, Yafai has been on the slide for a long, long time now. That Jason Cunningham defeat wasn't an aberration. It was a surefire indication that even though moving forward, lets his hands go, good offence, he's clearly thinking in there, landing good punches to the body and head, but Yafai, his punch resistance has gone, and yeah, so perhaps retirement beckons, maybe, I don't know. But he was EBU champ, and they don't give those belts away. For Ruiz, probably another trip to Britain, get that passport ready, He'll be coming back at some point, he'll make some money, and you never know, he could work his way into a title shot. So did you see the fight? Do you think Yafai should retire? Gamal Yafai, this is. There are 3 brothers, of course. And the first one to retire is probably going to be Gamal now, I think. It's a shame, but all good things end. So leave your comments below. Thanks for your Thanks for supporting the channel. If you're new, you could subscribe. That'd be great. You can hit the subscribe button and the like button. That helps us out too. I'd appreciate it. Speak again soon. Bye for now.